Hi, thank you for visiting Vorian. My name is Vori, and if this is your first time, then a sub and a like to the channel would be greatly appreciated. I also want to say thanks for those of you that've been supporting me through Saweria and YouTube membership. Thank you. Thank you very much. Now, let's talk about this game as I promised previously when I was talking about the first of the trilogy. Rise of the Tomb Raider, the second installment in Crystal Dynamics' Greedy Reboot trilogy. Released in 2015, this game took the foundation laid by its predecessor and aimed to elevate the action, exploration, and Lara Croft's journey. But how well did it succeed, and where does it stand within the context of the complete trilogy? Let's break it down. First of all, the environments are breathtaking, from the snow-dusted peaks of the Siberian wilderness to the ancient secrets hidden within glacial caves and forgotten cities. The visual fidelity and level design are a significant step up from the 2013 game. Each area feels vast, interconnected, and ripe for exploration. The weather effect, particularly the blizzards, add a layer of immersion and challenge. Second of all, the combat system saw notable improvements. While the core cover-based shooting remained, Rise introduced more stealth options, including silent takedowns from above and the ability to craft specialized arrows. This added a welcome layer of tactical depth to encounters, allowing for more varied approaches than simply going in gut blazing. The enemy AI also feels slightly more reactive and challenging, maybe? Finally, Lara's character development continued strongly. We see her grappling with the trauma of Yamatai while driven by her father's research and a burning desire to prove his theories. Camilla Luddington's performance is once again excellent, portraying a more seasoned but still vulnerable Lara. The narrative, focusing on the Divine Source and the Trinity organization, provides a compelling through line that keeps you invested in her quest. Now let's talk about what Rise of the Tomb Raider did differently compared to the 2013 reboot, and how it set the stage for Shadow of the Tomb Raider, the third part. One of the most significant changes was the increased focus on tombs and puzzles. While the 2013 game had its share of optional tombs, Rise made them a more integral part of the experience, offering intricate environmental puzzles that require genuine thought and exploration to solve. These challenge tombs were a highlight for many, harkening back to the classic Tomb Raider formula in a modern context. Another key difference was the introduction of a more robust crafting system. Lara could now scavenge resources from the environment to craft various ammunition types, survival tools, and upgrades for her weapons and gear. This added a layer of resource management and encouraged thorough exploration of the environments. Furthermore, Rise leaned more heavily into the open world structure, offering larger, more interconnected hub areas that allowed for greater freedom in exploration and side quest completion. This contrasted with the more linear progression of the 2013 game and provided a greater sense of scale and discovery. Finally, the narrative shifted its focus slightly, which could be a good or not such a good thing. While survival was still a theme, the overarching plot revolved more around ancient mysteries, powerful artifacts, and the clash with a more divine and menacing antagonist in Constantine. This set the stage for the more culturally focused and Trinity-centric narrative of Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Now, despite its many strengths, Rise of the Tomb Raider wasn't without its disappointments, at least that's what I think, especially when viewed in the context of the entire trilogy. One of the many criticisms was the relatively lack of innovation in some core mechanics. While combat and exploration were refined, they didn't feel drastically different from the 2013 game. Some players felt it was more of an evolution than a revolution. Another point of contention was the story's pacing and some of its character development. While Lara's journey was compelling, some of the supporting characters felt underdeveloped or served primarily as plot devices. The narrative, while engaging, could occasionally feel a bit predictable, especially compared to the emotional impact of the 2013 game's survival narrative. Furthermore, While the open world hubs were larger, some felt that the side quests and activities within them weren't always as compelling or integrated as they could have been. Some felt like fetch quests that didn't add significant depth to the overall experience. Well, if you played it, maybe you have different opinion. Write it down in the comment section down below. Finally, and perhaps more disappointingly for some, Rise of the Tomb Raider arguably didn't take as many bold risks or introduce really groundbreaking mechanics as some might have hoped for a middle chapter in a trilogy. While it refined and expanded upon the foundation, it sometimes felt like it was playing it a bit safe before the more significant changes introduced in Shadow of the Tomb Raider. For example, while underwater exploration was present, it wasn't as significant or dynamic as it would become in the final installment. So where does Rise of the Tomb Raider stand within the modern trilogy? It's undoubtedly a strong entry, building upon the successes of the 2013 reboot with improved environments, refined combat, and a greater emphasis on tombs and exploration. It successfully bridges the gap between Lara's initial transformation into a survivor and her eventual role as the Tomb Raider, as they highlighted like several times with the survival theme. However, it also has its drawbacks. It doesn't always feel as innovative as it could have been, and some aspects of the story and side content could have been more impactful. Ultimately, Rise of the Tomb Raider is a fantastic action-adventure game that offers a compelling continuation of Lara's story. While it might not have reinvented the wheel, it certainly polished it to a shine, setting a stage for a dramatic conclusion in Shadow of the Tomb Raider. Well, that's what I think. How about you? Leave your opinion about the trilogy, about whatever it is you're thinking about this specific game, or the franchise in general, while giving that subs, giving that likes, and helping out the channel to grow. Thanks for watching, and once again, if you are into this type of games, tell me if there are more other than the Uncharted maybe, or Just Cause. I don't know, I'm looking for more games like this. But anyway, that's it from me. Thank you for visiting Vorian.